loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and today guys I'll be checking out Ben Shapiro as he reacts to Oliver Anthony's song Richmond, North of Richmond, and he wants to know why this song has gotten over 22 million views so far, and I'm super excited to find out what Ben Shapiro has to say about this song. If you guys are yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's jump right into this video.
Time for some things I like and then some things that I hate. So, last week, I suggested that Kari would be a bad candidate for Senate in Arizona. And I hold by that because she lost to a wet rag in Katie Hobbs. However, she did have herself a nice moment in Iowa over the weekend. She was asked about whether there are, in fact, two genders. She was milking a cow at the time, and here was her response.
Which one of you is from the New York Times? You know there's only two genders, right?
I just take pictures.
There's only two genders, and they know that in Iowa. I challenge the New York Times reporter and the Washington Post reporter to try to milk a cow and then try to milk a bull and see how that goes.
Okay, I laughed. Okay, other things that I like. So, there's a song that has gone completely viral by a Virginia country singer named Oliver Anthony, who's a former factory worker, who's apparently really down on his luck, and he was asked to play a song at sort of a local event. And the song that he played is one that he calls Richmond, North of Richmond, which of course is a reference to the people who occupy Washington, D.C. And this thing has gone unbelievably viral. I mean, millions and millions of views. Here's what it sounds like.
So viral.
Well, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is.
Well, it's true.
Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men know the rich men.
Okay, so this song obviously has hit a nerve with people because it is, I think, the cry of a lot of people in the United States who are just trying to work a job and make their way in life and feel like there are too many people who have their hand in their pocket, particularly elites in the federal government who believe that their money should go to other people. Some of the lyrics in the song are, Lord, we got folks in the street ain't got nothing to eat and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not pay for your bag of fudge rounds. Fair enough.
That's
fair enough. So he posted a video explaining. He said, things were not good for a lot of people. In some respects, I was one of those people. I'd wasted a lot of nights getting high and getting drunk. I'd sort of gotten to a point in my life where even things I did care about didn't mean anything to me anymore. This isn't a Dr. Phil episode, but I found an outlet in this music, and I started uploading a couple of songs. He said, the universal thing I see is no matter how much effort the working class puts into whatever it is they're doing, they can't quite get ahead because the dollar's not worth enough. They're being overtaxed. I want to be a voice for those people, and not just them, but humans in general. As long as you're above the dirt, you got a fighting chance.
The inflation is everywhere.
So this thing has, again, gone incredibly viral. He says that he is not a right-winger. He says that this is pretty much dead center. He's because he's more isolationist in terms of foreign policy. But he talks about in the last part of the song, suicide rates, mental health, depression. He says there's no reason why that sort of stuff should be happening in this country. So John Rich, friend to the Daily Wire, of course, he's offered to produce Oliver's album. And the video is gaining all sorts of traction, obviously, and it should. This is a talented guy. Presidential run continues. He is facing down, presumably, some sort of indictment that is going to come down either this week or next week. According to the Wall Street Journal, Georgia has become ground zero for exhaustion over the legal drama surrounding Donald Trump and the GOP debate over whether to stick with him in 2024. Georgia, there are still signs that voters have tired of the 2020 election replays and of Trump himself. That kind of Trump fatigue is pervasive in Georgia, according to Republican strategists, which is a serious problem for him in a general election. Right now, the possibility of another indictment looming is pretty obvious. President Trump put out a statement over the weekend going after the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis. He went after her pretty hard, obviously. He suggested that she is corrupt. He suggested that she is driven by politics. Of course, she is. She's a partisan Democrat. But as these cases stack up, it is going to provide a serious challenge to his ability to actively run a campaign. According to Breitbart.com, Fani Willis is planning to bring multiple witnesses before a grand jury next week as part of her investigation into President Trump. Trump wrote, "I hear that racist Fulton County District Attorney, phony Fani Willis, who weekly presides over one of the deadliest communities in the United States with thousands of murders, violent criminals, and gang members roaming the streets while going untried, free, and are treated with kid gloves, is using a potential indictment of me and other innocent people as a campaign and fundraising con job, all based on a perfect phone call as president challenging election fraud, my duty and right." This would be Trump's fourth indictment in the past 5 months, and of course, it would bleed into the presidential election. Trump was asked whether he'd be taking a plea deal in Georgia, and correctly, he said, no way, man. Not a thing that's going to happen.
Is there any chance you take a plea deal in Georgia?
Plea deals. We did nothing wrong. We don't ever take a plea deal.
Yes, sir.
We don't take plea deals. It's a wise guy question.
Are you going to change this?
Mr. Wise Guy. We don't take plea deals because I did nothing wrong. It's called election interference. You know what that is? Because these indictments are brought out by Biden, who can't even put two sentences together. This is Joe Biden, because he can't win the election by himself. He can't win the election based on votes. So what they did is they got the Attorney General to do it. And then you see how stupid they acted yesterday with the appointment of the special counsel.
Okay, so that, of course, is going to be Trump's line all the way through the election. The question is whether that is going to be a winning message in a general election. That's something that Republican voters are going to have to decide. I was talking with some friends over the weekend, and we were all agreeing that the reason that Republicans, many of them love Trump, is because, of course, he was a hand grenade that was thrown into the sort of den of vipers that is American politics. But the question is, what happens if that hand grenade becomes a dud? Or what happens if it starts to blow up in your hand? That's something Republicans are going to have to decide. Do they think that Trump is still more of a tool against the left, that he is capable of victory in a general election? Or is he a hand grenade that is going to blow up in their hand? Right now, the polls suggest that Republicans are very much on board with the idea that Trump is still the best guy to nominate. The Real Clear Politics polling average has Trump riding very high at 54%, has Ron DeSantis at 15%. It has Vivek Ramaswamy at 6, Pence at 5, Haley at 3, everyone below that. Now, the polling on Ramaswamy is very weird. Now, as I say, full disclosure, I'm friendly with Vivek. Of course, I'm friendly with many of these candidates, is the truth. But Vivek's polling is super weird because all of the online polls have him at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And all of the phone polls have him at 2, which suggests that these may not be the most reliable polling statistics for Vivek, because he's the only one who you're seeing picking up support right now other than Trump. Trump is actually on a bit of a high right now in terms of his polling numbers. DeSantis has declined in the Real Clear Politics polling average from about 25% in April all the way down to about 15% today. Vivek in the Real Clear Politics polling average has picked up about 3 points, but it's really Trump who soared during that same period. Trump went from about 45% in the beginning of April to 54% today. Well, that dynamic was clearly on display in Iowa over the weekend. It was the Iowa State Fair, which is this giant, huge fair that happens every 4 years in Iowa. I believe it happens every year in Iowa, but it really, breaks into the open during primary season because everybody goes there hoping to win votes in the Iowa caucuses. Right now, the polling in Iowa is significantly narrower than the polling nationally. The polling in Iowa shows that Donald Trump is still for sure in the lead, but his lead over DeSantis is significantly smaller. The last New York Times Siena poll had Trump at 44 and DeSantis at 20, which of course is still a big gap. It's a 24-point gap, but that 24-point gap is not a 40-point gap. So that is a fairly significant difference. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.
Wow, you guys, that was such a beautiful one from Ben Shapiro. And let me know what you think about the song, Richmond, not of Richmond. I really loved it. And I don't even know why this song went super viral. Maybe because he sounded more like a spokesman, speaking the minds of so many Americans, and not even only Americans, but so many people all around the world who are trying to make ends meet, but the hurdles of life wouldn't even let them be successful or make it in this life. The inflation is everywhere, and it's even worse here in Africa. That's why you see that people are still trying all their best to migrate to countries like America, Europe, and other Western world. But here, over here in Africa, it's really war that is going on when it comes to surviving. It's very difficult, and hearing this song resonates to so many people all around the world. I know that it's very difficult to work a job and pay taxes in America, because the tax rates in America is something else, that working just one job might not even cut it for you. You just have to do so many jobs, and so many people are getting tired, getting frustrated, getting depressed, and so many other people are taking their own lives because they can no longer cope with the difficulty of life. They can no longer cope with the hardship that is just facing them. This is such a beautiful song. I love the fact that this song touched so many people, and it was such a beautiful lyrics. I really loved it, and I enjoyed every minute that it lasted. And I love what Ben Shapiro said about this song. And also, let me know what you guys think about the presidential election. Do you think that Donald Trump is going to win this time around? Or do you think that everything is going to go in favor of Vivek Ramaswamy? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Oh my gosh, you guys. I really had fun reacting to this video. If you did enjoy watching, give this video a massive thumbs up. Comment, share, and all that good stuff. And this is me officially signing out. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.